So today what we're going to cover is how inspiration drives engagement and propensity to purchase. So I'm going to look at how businesses use, I guess, sort of top tips and adding value in order to kind of create more of an engagement driver on social media. We're going to look at how using the right national hashtags that will give you more reach. We're going to look at social media and how it can be the best place to actually do a challenge. So how can you actually do something physical and turn that into something digital? And then using the national days to show off your cause. So, if you support a cause or a charity or anything like that, again, you can really use some of the national content and national days to kind of, I guess, back up what you're doing to give more leverage. You can use user-generated content and how that can be the most powerful content that you can get. And then we're going to look at how to use national campaigns and events to boost your competitions as well. So actually loads to cover today. So one of the things that we're really passionate about is prioritizing your channels by learning from your competitors. So rather than, I guess, doing a bit of a spray and pray approach where, that you're kind of, trying a bit of Instagram, trying a bit of Facebook and not quite sure, actually one of the best things you can do is look at how your competition is using social media and then learn from that, whether it's good or whether it's not so good. So one of the ways of doing that is actually doing a comparison. So here you can go into your dashboard and you can add in yourself. So yourself is on your left and that has all your social media stats, and then you can compare it to any other business. So here basically you can compare your social stats. So ranking is literally, where you sit basically in amongst all the other businesses. And then it would be, then it's your followers. So it's your total number of followers. And then against theirs, it would be the total number of posts. So aka like how much you're posting against theirs. You can look at number of engagement. You can look at posts per day. You can look at the amount of engagements per post, and you can look at engagements per day. So you can basically get a bit of a feel for how much they're posting, how often they're posting. You can see what their best post is and how regular that is on their channel. So again, you're going, right, okay, if I'm using more Facebook and they're using more Instagram, should I be switching that up, or actually is that working better for me? You start to get a real understanding of how things are working. So please feel free to go in, have a bit of a play with this and start using it, start to look at benchmarking, because honestly it's one of the best things that you can do. Because remember, 79.1% of consumers in the UK spend over an hour on social media every single day, and only 19% of businesses have active social media accounts. So I cannot stress enough every week when I come on here that those stats are mind-boggling to me in 2023. I don't understand how we're still having the same conversation, but that's why you guys are here and why you're here to listen and to learn and to keep growing. Because you know what, social media doesn't stop, it doesn't change. So sorry, it keeps changing even. So what we've got to do is just keep moving with it, and that's what we're here for. So we help over 25,000 businesses get more out of social media. So as we said, I look at how to compare your social media performance with any other business. We look at all of the social media tools and insights to help you use social media more effectively. And of course, you get access to expert resources. We create loads of amazing content for you. We've got experts in ads. We've got experts in content writing to basically just help you with your full social media journey. So make sure that you're using the tools that we've got available. Right, that's me. I'm going to crack on, guys. So we are looking at, so if you think about some of the national days that we've had over the last sort of couple of months, so we had World Book Day, which was massive, absolutely massive, and so many different types of businesses used it. We also had Mother's Day. So I kind of wanted to look at, this one was Mother's Day. So this is Fortnum and Mason's, and this is a reel that they did, which was giving top tips and ideas for Mother's Day. So I'll show you the reel and then we're going to talk about it. And as always, honestly, any questions you have on this, please just fire them into the chat. Right, so I'll leave that playing whilst we have a chat about this. So this was a reel giving some ideas for what you could get your mum for Mother's Day at Fortnum's, okay? So it's something that lots of different brands did, and I really like how they did this because It's clearly not something that's been done professionally. It has been done on a phone, which obviously, you know, when you're Fortnum's, like, you know, like they are a massive, massive, massive brand. They've got a big marketing, well, assuming they've got a big marketing team, but they've got a marketing team, they'll have a marketing budget. And this is something that any business could have done for Mother's Day. So we just had Mother's Day. We'll have Father's Day coming up. We've got obviously Easter coming up this weekend, and we have so many different events that are coming up that you could do something like this for. So it's a really good way of showing a really wide range of what they have available. So basically you can see they've walked around the store, they've taken little images of you know, like the cakes. They've given, again, you know, like 5 things that you can do. I would have probably numbered them to make it easier, to be fair, and maybe even added it in the content just so that, you know, I know what I'm looking at. So here, you know, I know I can buy a box of chocolates, and again showing that the box of chocolates, how it's physically wrapped. Could any business do this? 110%. You know, it could be that, you know, I don't know, you're a salon and it's showing, you know, that how, I don't know, 5 ways that you could pamper your mum on Mother's Day, or it might be something to do with Father's Day and thinking, you know, barbers. It could be 5 top treats to, you know, for a bakery for Mother's Day, Father's Day, all those kind of things. So thinking about it, it is basically showing off the place. It's showing off what they can do. It is giving me so many ideas for what I could get for my mum. It is showing me, I guess, you know, the fact that they've got experiences as well as actual products. They're showing that you can personalize things, and they've done it all just using a phone. So that is easy. It is literally just holding a phone and doing a bit of this. And then in Reels, you literally just clip it all together. It does it for you. If you've never done a reel, please come on to our Monday session, which is like this. Just and you can learn literally, like, you know, Monday is how to use Maybe, but Tuesday's more like, you know, I guess how to do things like how to use Reels, that kind of thing. And we also have a ton of training on that as well. So if you type in Reels into Maybe, into the little blue button, we show you all this kind of stuff. What are good reels, the best way of doing it, that kind of thing. So please just use us if you're not sure. But really, it is, as you can see, mum's the word. Here are 5 ways to make Mother's Day, so you've used hashtags, more memorable. And then they've done the local hashtags. They've done gift ideas, Fortnum's, fortnumandmason.com. And it got, you know, like 2,848 likes. People loved it. Get me there quick. Oh my Lord, this is a dream. The best shop in the world. One of our favorites. So people have gotten really into it. And of course, people have tagged in people. So maybe tagged in their mom, or it might be that the mum's tagged in a daughter or a son or things like that. Or it might be that they've looked at it and gone, right, okay, you know, one of my friends needs to come for afternoon tea there. Or it might be somebody that loves Fortnum. So it is about inspiration. It is about showing off your products at its best. It is about showing, I guess, the place, and it is about using social media to create, I guess, you know, that kind of want to go, that fear of missing out. And it shows the physical and the digital coming together. So that social media, like, has driven all those people, quite possibly, I assume, down to either purchase something or down to an afternoon tea. So well done, Fortnum and Masons. Right, completely different. This is car and kitchen. So this is Mother's Day. And again, the whole point of me showing you guys this is how you can take national content and turn it into ideas. You know, like, again, this is about forward planning a little bit, but it's about thinking about what's coming up and then how you can use some of this in your own businesses. So this is car and kitchen. And as you can see, car and kitchen is absolutely gorgeous. So they have some absolutely beautiful little it's an independent family business, and they've got absolutely gorgeous products. So you can see everything really for them is about using this Instagram as their shop window. So, you know, they're independent local business. They want to try and drive people from Instagram down to their physical showroom and down into their shop. And they do that by showing how absolutely beautiful their products are. However, this is a really different one. which I really liked. This is Happy Mother's Day to all the amazing ladies out there. Thank you to everyone that came and shopped with us this weekend. It was so lovely to see so many mums being treated in the cafe. We hope you've all had a great weekend. Bring on the spring. And it is her with her kids, and and I just love their little faces, because they're like, really, we're taking a picture. And I just absolutely love it, because I've got a daughter, and it just made me think of her, thinking the amount of times where you try and get a nice picture and you're smiling and the kids are not. So again, any sort of mum would identify with that. Any father would, anyone to be honest, would identify with that. It's a very cute picture. They don't look best pleased, which I really liked. But I think what I like about it is that everything really is about their business, and this is personal. This is her as a mum showing, I guess, her personal side, showing her kids, which again, is all about sort of humanizing, humanizing your business, especially as an independent business. People buy from people. And I think, well, one thing COVID did was it really shone a light on how we need to support independent businesses, and people are much more conscious about about supporting independent businesses. So it is about showing that kind of like personal side behind it. So the image would capture, anybody's heart anyway. And then I think what's really nice is she's not actually really talking about herself. She's actually thanking people for coming in and shopping with her as an independent business owner and a mum. And yeah, she's just saying thank you to her customers. So why can't you do that? Any business should be thanking their customers for coming down. But what I love is the hashtags. So this is the best way of getting seen as an independent business, particularly in like the kind of business that they're in. So she's done Mother's Day hashtags, which again, so that's the national part. So, we're talking about national campaigns. This is the national one. Think about what's coming up. There's loads of Easter hashtags. There's loads of Father's Day hashtags coming up. There's summer holiday hashtags already coming up. So think about the national hashtags and the fact that people are following them to get either inspiration or to gift ideas, anything like that. Then you've got the shop independent, you've got family business, shop indie, support local, our indie shop, indie cafe, our little shop, small business love. So these are basically hashtags that anybody who wants to support an independent business will be following, and anybody who, I guess, who is another independent business will be following. So all these hashtags are there for a reason. So they're digital signposts to your business. That's what they're there for. They are to drive the right people who are following those hashtags to suddenly come and find you. The image then draws them in, and then the caption it kind of, it basically explains, explains the image. But that's what hashtags are for. They're digital signposts back to you. So make sure you use them. Here again, you've got meet the shopkeeper, support small businesses. I really, really like it. And then what I love is that someone's written that baby looks how I feel right now. And that is brave. I'm obviously saying it as well. You're looking at the baby does not look impressed. It's so cute though. And the kids are just like, oh, really? Taking a picture again. But that's what it's all about. People have spotted that and have commented on it, and it's super, super cute. So that's my point, is that I don't know whether that person already followed them or whether that person found them through the hashtags. But the point is, they've used hashtags to drive more of the right people supporting Mother's Day independent businesses. They could have probably done local as well. So they could have used their location and done a whole load of location hashtags. So anyone within the area or looking for businesses within the area could have used it. But it's great content. And for any business that's thinking about Father's Day, for example, why not talk about, if I don't know if you're a dad, you've got kids, or why not big up the dads that work with you? Why not talk about bring the kids in for the day? Or why not just thank, anybody for shopping with you, or do like a little deal or something like that, just it's about forward planning, but it's also just about being quite authentic and genuine as well, and then just making sure that you're using the right hashtags. So we also had World Book Day. Now, this was massive. It was something that everybody was talking about, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger each year. So it's not just something for like the likes of the National Literacy Trust. I'm going to show you what other like sort of charities and huge companies have done with this. So again, we have our content calendar, which is full of national campaigns. I'll show you guys it in a bit, and we'll look at what's coming up, but please use it. This is what it's for. So this is Read for Good, and so this is basically a charity, and they have like used World Book Day to create like their own kind of like hashtag, their own thing, and they've done a collaboration. So here it said Read for Good. So it's the Leicester Readathon 2023. They want to try and get 500,000 minutes. So basically, let's have a look and I'll show you it properly. Right. So here, so since 27th of February, an exciting build up, they've used the hashtag. More than 15 ambitious primary and secondary schools across Leicester and Leicestershire have been avidly logging every single magical minute for hashtag reading for pleasure using our fun free reading tracker, Track My Read. And then they said, you know, together they collectively reading for 500,000 minutes. That's huge. Which when reached would unlock brilliant book boxes for children in the local community. So what this is they have gone, right, okay, what's coming up this year? National, so it is World Book Day, right? So anybody with anything to do with books, reading, literacy, kids, parents, anything like that, that's a positive. Or it could be that, I don't know, your market is female and actually you focus on, I don't know, female authors, for example. There's loads of different ways that businesses use this. But what they've done is they have done a bit of a collaboration. They've worked with a load of primary schools and secondary schools, sorry, across a certain area, and they have given them a challenge. So they've used social media to publicize this challenge, to talk about the challenge. And what they've done is they've got the pictures of the kids here in the library, which I just love, because it would make you want to click on it anyway. So it's a picture of the kids, all their books lined up, obviously trying to get all their minutes in, which is just, again, it is thoughtful. It works well with the hashtags. It works well with what the topic is. So that's really, really good. They've used the two hashtags. So they've used the World Book Day 2023. So again, people can, you know, find them through that hashtag. But then they've also created their reading for pleasure one. They've talked about the fact that they've got a free reading tracker. So again, if I've just come to this completely cold, I would go, oh, right, okay, you know, that might be quite cool. That might be a good way of me, I don't know, like trying to improve my child's reading, something like that. They've then gone into lots of detail about the timings. They've gone into lots of detail about what they're doing. They have done, they've tagged, so they've put in the authors, and they've put in everybody that they're working with. And then they've even then given the detail on what actually happened. So they've blown us away. Not only have they reached it, they've absolutely smashed it. The current minutes is 684,000. That's insane. We're enormously so proud of all the children. So don't get me wrong, it's a massive long post, okay? But it is about feeling. It is about telling us what the challenge is, telling us where they're at with the challenge, publicising the free tools that they've got as part of it. They've used the national content as, I guess, the national hashtag as a way of promoting it, but ultimately it's not really about World Book Day. It's not at all. It's actually about what they're doing. It's their challenge, what they're kind of up to. And I absolutely love it. So this is me saying, use national content, use national hashtags and national campaigns as a way to think about any causes that you're supporting. It might be a charity, it might be, I don't know, you know, I've got skydive coming up, for example. I might use something, there's a national one about hospice care, for example, and I'm doing it for a hospice. So, you know, like, so I might use that as, you know, a way of, you know, actually this is a really good day for me to be talking about this because it's National Hospice Day and blah, blah, blah. You know, you see what I'm saying? So it's about being authentic and supporting a cause and doing some kind of challenge, which you can, you know, use and regularly update on social media. It might be getting your steps in for, you know, it might be steps in. It might be a team thing that you all do together and you just update your progress. It's great content. You can do stories on it. You can do videos on it. You can do reels on it. So use social media as a way of doing a thing, doing a cause, supporting a cause, doing a challenge, anything like that. Make sure you update it, make sure you give the detail, make sure you do exactly what these guys have done, tag in anyone that's involved, use your own hashtag maybe to for people to follow it, but make sure you're using national content and national hashtags because that's how new people find you and they'll support your cause. It's just great. It's such a good idea. Right, slightly different one. Liverpool Football Club, also supporting World Book Day. So let's have a look at this. Sorry, it'll take a little second. It's on Facebook. Okay, so you get the idea right now. Of course, Liverpool Football Club, massive football club. Everyone knows who it is, internationally renowned, right? So whether you support them or not, it doesn't matter. This is about World Book Day. Okay, so they used World Book Day to publicize the fact that they have done a thing. So they, as the Liverpool Football Club Foundation, they all teamed up and they got some of the players down. They teamed up with a local guitarist who has created a book, which is basically, my first Liverpool football songs, I think it was. And teamed up with him. They got all the players. They worked with local schools, and they got everybody together to do a thing. And all they've done is used a national hashtag, so World Book Day, to actually talk about it and actually publicize what they've done. So yes, they've got a budget. Yes, they've used their own players, so they get away with all that. But really, if you think about what this is them doing a thing. This is them supporting local children. This is them talking about the fact that they're supporting local children. This is them collaborating with local, I guess, artists and unknown or relatively unknown sort of performers and things like that. But it has context. This is them supporting local, as I said, like local children to do a thing, but they're using a national hashtag or an international hashtag, it's World Book Day, to talk about it. So do you see what I mean? So this doesn't need to mean that you necessarily have anything to do with books or anything like that, to do anything for World Book Day, but it's something that's talked about. It's something that is relevant to the majority of people in the country at some point. We should all be reading, we should all, be bettering ourselves and that kind of thing, learning, but also equally, it can highlight something. It can highlight, you could be talking about dyslexia, trouble reading, kids starting school. It could be, I don't know, launching a book club. It could be that actually you're just doing something with a local charity and you use World Book Day as a way of talking about it. So there's so many different things here, but I think what I really, really like is that it is a massive brand, and they're using a hashtag like World Book Day, which is absolutely nothing really to do with them as a business, if you like, or an organization, but they're showing that they've done something for the local community, and they've used that hashtag as a kind of, what's the word, a way of kind of pinning the content, if you like. So any business could do that. Just because you don't have Liverpool's budget or Liverpool Football Club's budget doesn't mean that you can't do a thing, doesn't mean that you can't do something as a cause, a challenge, collaboration. Doesn't mean that you couldn't look for local artists. It could be local photographers, local charities that you can work with. There's so many different ways of doing it. So just bear that in mind when we start planning for the future content. That actually doesn't need to be necessarily about the actual, what's the word, hashtag itself. It could actually be more about, I guess, what's how does that work with what you are doing already? B&M, Easter. We've, funnily enough, been talking about Easter a lot because it's coming. Now, B&M, we feature them a lot. B&M's content is awesome. So here we go. Back looking. Guess who's back looking. Right. I love B&M content. They are great. that is super, super simple. That is super easy. It is Guess Who's Back. They've used Eminem. I mean, why wouldn't you associate Eminem and the Easter Bunny, guys? I mean, come on. They've used Guess Who's Back, back again. Eminem song, get everybody singing along. They've used the little emojis, Guess Who's Back, get your home ready for a visit from the Easter Bunny with our bunny wicker baskets, only £7. And what I love is it's thanks to this Instagram account for the brilliant video. So let's have a look. Look, everyone's tagging people in it. This is, I mean, that, you know, no disrespect to B&M, right? It's a blimmin' basket. It's a basket. It is an Easter basket that is super cute. My daughter would absolutely love it. It is very, very cute, right? That's fine. But it is the fact that everyone's gone mad for it. Everyone's gone crazy for it. Look, everyone's tagging in all their mates. This has had 8.6 thousand views, 110 engagements and 50 comments. That is mad. It is a basket. So if B&M can do it, and B&M can do it cheap and cheerful, might I add, that is literally them just, you know, going, Guess Who's Back, back again. They've used the music that's already uploaded in Instagram. It is somebody else, which, sorry, B&M can do this, anyone can do it. But one of the things I wanted to highlight was, so this they could do. So they could have done this themselves, aka gone into a store, Guess Who's Back, back again, and done the wee basket, right? So they could have gotten a member of staff to do that. But what I love is that actually this is from basically an influencer. It's user-generated content. So let's have a look. And if you, because what the wonderful thing about Facebook is you can put a link in. You can't do it with Instagram, which is really annoying. So she goes in and she goes around all of the shops, and she works with different brands basically to publicize what they do. And as you can see, I mean, she's got absolutely hundreds that she's done, and that one just happened to be the one for B&M. She then shares it, and then she then tags, as you can see, they've got Hobbycraft there. She then tags people in, and basically businesses can contact her. She's got a big following here, you know, 205,000 followers. Tag us to be featured, or you can contact her to basically be featured. So again, any businesses can contact her, and I'm assuming there's some kind of fee involved to be featured. And then they have been tagged, and then they have then shared that content under the thing. Why couldn't any business do this? If I have eaten in your restaurant, I ate at a lovely restaurant last night. I took a whole load of pictures of my food because it was delicious. I then popped it on Instagram and I tagged them in saying, this was amazing, thank you so much. And then they have then also then reshared that, because guess what? It's user-generated content. It doesn't matter whether I'm an influencer or not. I'm not. Just I had a really nice meal and I wanted to talk about it. But the trust that that then gives to anybody who wants to go to that restaurant, who's having a little look, has gone, oh, you know, that food looks amazing. That looks really good. She's just taken a picture of it. She must have had a good time, blah, blah, blah. So it doesn't matter that that's an influencer, but they have taken that influencer's content and turned it into their own and got, you know, 110 engagements, 50 comments, and a whole bunch of people that maybe didn't even follow B&M before, who've been tagged in, suddenly are now going to follow them, now going to be interested. And guess what? Those little things will be sold out off the back of that. So make sure you're keeping an eye on who's tagging you and make sure that you're reusing the content. And you could just reshare it, or you could literally turn it into your own post. But I think it's really important to make sure, again, that you are, if you've got it on Facebook, make sure you're doing this, put in a link to it, tag them in, make sure that you're tagging everybody properly. But honestly, it's such a good idea. And then finally, competitions. So Easter, massive. And this is Hoorays Gelato. This is when you realize how hungry you are when you look at this. This happens every week, guys. Right. Competition time. This is Hoorays Gelato. They're doing an Easter giveaway. So they're using Easter as a hook to do a giveaway, which will drive certain things. So what they're asking people to do, to like the post, that's about engagement. So they want people to like it. They want people to follow them. And if they weren't following them before, they'll now follow them. So that's to get new followers. and get existing people who just happen to have a little look at them every now and again to actually follow them. It's for engagement, so they want people to comment and like. They also, so that's about engagement in their current post, if you like. They're using Easter as the hook. Then also they want people to tag who you'd share your gelato cake with. Each comment counts as an entry, so go crazy. So they want new people who don't follow them or haven't seen them before to suddenly follow them, get interested in them, and guess what? They might also go in and buy some cakes. So that is the idea behind it, right? So it is just literally win yourself an Easter gelato cake to share or not with your family and friends. It's Easter. It's super easy. It's just like, why are we not all doing this more often? Like, thinking about, as I said, there's so many national days that are still to come up. And we're going to talk about this. What I'll do is I'll come up with some ideas on how you might be able to use to create your own competitions off the back of this. But it's such an easy thing, like ultimately they want to sell gelato, they want to sell cakes. They want to sell gelato cakes. So they've gone, what can we do? Stick some mini eggs on it and call it our Easter gelato cake. And they've done a giveaway. They've done their own little graphic. Any business can do this, but just make sure that whatever you're doing, make sure that you are using, you're following the right guidelines. And we've got loads of stuff on this on Maybe. So make sure you're following the right guidelines because each channel has their own rules on what you're allowed to do in terms of competition. So just make sure you're following those. And make sure that you've put like any T's and C's and things like that. But it's just, it's easy. You want me to engage? Cool. It's an easy win. I'm not going to cry if I don't win it. It's not £1 million, but it's cake. I'm more likely to tag in a friend that likes that is interested in that. People have gone in and tagged in friends. I've tagged in loads of people before it melts. See? Easy peasy. That's a bunch of new people now that are now going to be following this business that didn't follow it before. They're going to sell more gelato off the back of it. So we've come to this point. Let's have a look at what's coming up and let's come up with some ideas. So please feel free, pop in the Q&A button and let me know if there's any specific business that you want me to kind of come up with some ideas for. But essentially, this is our social media content inspiration calendar. So this is all the national days and weeks and months over the next year. Well, not quite year, we're already in April, so up until the end of the year, and we have pulled them all together. We've pulled together the hashtags for you. We've even come up with some ideas for content for you to make it as super simple as possible. Here, so let's have a look. So I'm going to look at May. So bearing in mind, these are national days that you could go, right, you can either do something specific for the day, like a little challenge, do top tips, whatever it might be, because it might be specific to your business, or you can use it as a hook to talk about something else. So here, Zombie Awareness Month. That one's up to you. Let's have a little look. I think we spoke about this one before actually, but National Walking Month is a really, really good one. So did you know that May is National Walking Month? And why not celebrate by organising your own walk this May and raise money for our life-saving research? So this one was for, I think, the British Heart Foundation, and trying to get people to walk. So it could be that you do a challenge with like all of your team members. You could be that you collaborate with other businesses. If you're, I don't know, you might be a shopping centre, you might be a placemaker, get loads of people doing it. You just, you monitor your steps, you create a little Facebook group or something, or a little WhatsApp group, and you every day they have to tag, they have to put it on there to put it, and then you collate that and chuck it on social media. It's good also it's good obviously to raise money. It's a good way of showing teams. It's a good way of humanizing your business, and it's a good way of just creating really good content as well. And do you know what? If it gets you fit, what more could you want? Let's have a little look. We'll go further down, because I think we did earlier on. National Limerick Day, right? Love, love, love that. National Limerick Day, that is just for a bit of fun, let's face it, unless maybe, I don't know, you might be a poet, or you might be, I don't know, a bookshop or something, that's fine. The National Limerick Day, could you come up with, share what your favourite limerick is? Might be one from childhood, I mean, obviously you can choose, like, how deep to go on this one, the National Eliminate Day. Share yours and ask other people to share theirs. You don't even have to do a competition on it. It's literally just, have a bit of a giggle. And it is just a bit of fun. It is, like a bit, it creates engagement. It creates a bit, just a bit of like two-way conversation with your customers. Food Allergy Awareness Week. If you have anything to do with food, talk about this. So, like, I don't know if you do gluten-free options, if you do, I don't know, any kind of, anything to do with any kind of food allergies, talk about it. I don't know, you might want to collaborate with a local expert and raise awareness of something. It might be, it could be weight, it could be anything, but that is a really, really good way of, again, creating good content that you can still use as a hook to talk about your own business, but it actually is genuinely helping people. It could be that you share your top tips on how to look at a menu. It could be looking at the back of packets if you're a supermarket. So many different ways. And then we'll do one more. National Smile Month. Love that. You don't have to be a dentist to talk about smiling. You could be a dentist, and that's a really good way of like framing content, isn't it? And talking about like the services that you offer. But yeah, can you do something where, I don't know, like everybody shares a smile a day or something like that? Could you talk about, I don't know, like make someone laugh once a day, do little challenges? There's so many different ways of doing something with that. So again, this is my point. It is looking at all of these days, there's hundreds of them. Looking at all these days and thinking about, how can I use that in my business? How can I take some of the things that Donna has been talking about today and use that, whether it's creating a reel, top tips, whether it's making a competition, whether it's doing a collaboration, whether it's raising money, whether it's doing a challenge and publicizing it on social media. So remember, that's why we're here. This is to do this for you guys. So remember, on a Monday, it's how to use Maybe. So if you want to learn how to use the platform a bit more, like, I totally get it. Sometimes it is, disappear down the rabbit hole. We do so many things for people. So if you want to learn how to get better at a thing, then please feel free to go in there. Tuesday, social media basics. You want to learn how to do a reel. You want to learn more about hashtags. Go on there. Wednesday, me. Thursday, we've got ads for beginners, and Friday, advanced ads. Honestly, I cannot tell you how valuable these sessions are. I learn loads about it every week, so please go on there. And then on-demand training, so that is literally this, and we have turned it into little bite-sized chunks for you guys. So key takeaways for me today, get inspirational. Your social media engagement rates will soar. So think about Fortnum and Masons, think about how you can inspire people to do a thing. Think about how you can show off your business at its best and your products and services at its best by explaining how people can, I don't know, level up, or how people can, like ideas for what people can buy. Show the people behind your business to drive connection on a personal level. So again, looking at humanizing your business, thinking about Mother's Day, Father's Day, all the different things that are coming up, thinking about how you can show the people behind your business and also thank your customers. Use national days to find a cause that you love or back up an existing one. So thinking about the National Walking Week month, with British Heart Foundation, it might be something else. So, how can you rally the troops and get together to support a cause? And then how can you show that on social media? It's such a good way to get engagement and extra content. Keep on top of your tagged content, so making sure that you're monitoring like the user generated content. So like I said about the restaurant last night that I went to, I tagged them in, so I would fully expect them to reshare that. National campaigns is a great way of launching your competition. So think about, like any of the national ones that we talked about today. Could you launch a competition around Walking Week? If, I don't know, you sell trainers, I don't know, but that's the point, is that there's a way of doing it, but just make sure you follow the rules on the channel. And of course, just make sure you set up your Maybe account, because that's what we want. We want you to help you learn. We want to help you grow. We want to support you guys. And make sure you look out for an email from us tomorrow. That's all the links in it. You can get registered for next week's webinars. You can register for any of the training, and we'll give you guys a bit more inspiration from other businesses as well.